Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid health insurance program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
All right, welcome to the Ghana Agenda. My name is Alfred Amuzu. I'm having a little bit of a sound issue, so please let me know if you can hear me. Today's show, it's going to be a very interesting one, and I will soon bring my guest, who would be Afa Ameya again, the regular panelists like we do every week. We'll also be having Lifetime Legacy, who's already in the studio. I can see him. We'll also be joined by Ato Kwamina, who's currently at the funeral playing music and supporting a family at that. And we really appreciate him for, he's in his time that way, but he promised to join us as soon as he's done with that. I have Kojo DC also joining today, so I can see him in the studio. So we have the team ready to go. I'm going to take a quick commercial break, and when I get back, we will start the conversation. Today we are talking about Labianca group of companies versus the OSP. And when we get back, I will actually go into the details and break down what it is that we want to actually discuss about those two forces, our media sphere, those two individuals duking it out currently in our space. We'll be right back.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid health insurance program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
All right, welcome back to the show again. Welcome back. Like I was saying earlier, I'm joined by two of my earlier rappers. Lifetime Legacy, looking good as always. Lifetime Legacy, welcome to the show.
Hi, Alfred. How are you doing?
Good. I'm having a bit of sound challenge today, so I don't know how good I sound. I don't know if my mic is connected appropriately, but if for any reason my sound is not coming properly, let me know and I would try to fix that. Kojo DC, welcome to the show. I see you're on the road.
Yeah, thank you, Muzu. And My brother, Lifetime, how are you? And the listeners and viewers at the same time. How's everything going?
I'm doing well, my brother. Thank you so much for asking.
Awesome,
Uh,
awesome.
that's
Okay,
good.
so today we will be joined by our brother Safar. We are waiting for Afar to join. Maybe we would also have Dr. Lawrence. Dr. Lawrence might join us at some point. And then, of course, Paul Disosu also promised to be on the show. So wait for them to join. But today's topic is a simple one. The OSP has been, fighting crime, corruption, doing his investigations. But each time he releases a report, we hear all kinds of bickerings. In this particular case, he accused a member of the Council of State. In this case, I think she's Miss Heaney, right? What is the name again? Asamoah Heaney.
Asumahini.
And yes, and
Asumani.
then Che. What is the name of the custom officer? I'm gonna give you that in a minute. Okay, so also one of the commissioners of the Ghana Revenue Authority at the custom division. That the custom officer has granted what we call advance authorization for a reduced sort of value in what frozen food shipped by Labianca, which Miss Ohini is the CEO and the primary beneficiary to that company, that she uses her influence to get the custom officer to give her custom clearance that makes her actually import these products into the country at a reduced price. And we saw, the Labianca group responded to the OSP, even threatening to sue the OSP. So the question we really have today is whether or not the OSP has kind of overdid this, whether they actually did a proper investigation, and do they even have the authority to bring such allegations in the public without necessarily going to court first and having the court to look at their work objectively. So we'll be taking a step from what that report said, the investigative report said, and the response we also received from the CEO of Labianca. And then we go into the details and look at the merits and see if what the OSP did here is actually good or not. And this is not limited to this particular OSP. We know the former OSP, who also investigated at Japadia, has to resign after that investigation. So what is going on? Is it that each time, the people we put in place to fight corruption actually try to fight corruption, that they end up getting in trouble themselves, or corruption fights them back? We know the case of Level. We know, so on and on, we can cite examples of anytime someone put in a position to tackle corruption in our country, it appears that corruption even fights back a lot harder. So that's the issue we'll be discussing today. We also joined by Paul Disosu. Paul Disosu, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Alfred, and I'm great to be here this afternoon.
Thank you. Nice, you're looking good. All right.
Thank you.
We are glad to have you on screen today so we can see your face.
Mhm.
It's going to be
Well,
fun.
you've been missing for a while. Why? You're afraid of your own shadows? How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. What about you?
Good.
Good. Okay, so if you're watching the show, please share the link. We'll take a quick break, and then when I
Is it my camera or I'm halfway? I don't know.
Yeah, somehow you're half of your picture.
Yeah, I don't know.
The other way. Yes, I think this one is perfect. Something is blocking your camera a little bit.
Oh,
no, it's
well.
NBC. They have
Yeah,
the
there you
light
go.
black, so they want to be in the dark.
Take it off. Okay. Thank you so much. All right,
So,
guys, let's take a break.
so could you DC wants trouble this afternoon? Yeah.
All right, let's take a quick break to share the link.
I miss
while
you
we
when
do
you're
so.
coming.
All right, Kojo. Okay, so let's take a quick break and try to share the link while we do so, and then so we can have other people join the show as well. We'll be right back.
Are you 65 years or older? Good news. Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS, IL65 to 773-420-8976. It's true. For most people, your health insurance program increases as you grow older. That's why the state of Illinois has expanded its Medicaid health insurance program to everyone 65 and older, regardless of your immigration status. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, UAO, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. If you are 65 years and older, there's one thing we can all agree on. Your health and well-being is important. Whether you are a recent green card holder or retiree, asylee or without paper, you're now eligible for the Illinois Medicaid Health Insurance Program. Need help to apply? Contact United African Organization, WhatsApp, SMS IL65 to 773-420-8976. Documents needed to apply: your proof of ID, your proof of address, and your proof of income.
All right, welcome back to the show. Again, my name is Alfred Amuzu. Today, I'm joined by Lifetime Legacy, who speaks for the NDC. Paul Disosu also speaks for the NDC, and Kojo DC, representing the MPP, who's also the organizing secretary or the organizer of
chapter organizer of the MPP.
Chapter organizer of MPP in the Washington DC area. All right, gentlemen, welcome to the show one more time. So, I wanted us to talk today strictly about one thing and one thing only, which is the case between, or the potential lawsuits that we would see between Labianca group of companies and the Office of Special Prosecutor, which we call the OSP. The OSP has conducted an investigation upon determining that, of course, there was a complaint made to the OSP by a gentleman called, what is the name? So there was a complaint received by the OSP that this lady who serves on the Council of States, Miss Hini Asoba, owns a company called Labianca, and she uses her influence as a Council of State member to request that the Customs Administration, will reduce the import duties that are, she's supposed to pay for frozen food that she brings to the country. She has this company since 2014, as we were told. Between 2014 and 2017, there was not any case of her actually applying for reduced tariffs. But as soon as she became Council of States member in 2017, the applications started coming in. Her applications, as described by the OSP, were ridiculous. In some cases, they asked for up to 80% reduction or 80% reduction in the value of the items imported before tax is calculated on them. For some reason, the custom had granted some of that, request, and instead of the 80% reduction, they've reduced some by between 5 to 10%. And the OSP actually, sort of thought that was criminal. The OSP surcharged them and got the money back to the country's coffers, or got them to refund the money back to the country. Now, part of that allegation, part of the publication is that, or the report that the OSP put out says that the company refused or did not accept that they actually put in any application for reduction in tariff. Come to find out, in the company's own response back to the OSP, they are claiming that everything they did was legitimate and any application they raised. So it seems there's a little bit of contradiction there. And so I want us to look at, if you think the OSP actually did a good job, by you reading the report, do you think the OSP here did a really good job in assembling and investigating the facts to this matter. And the conclusion the OSP reached, has the OSP clearly shown you in their report that what they are alleging Labianca to have done is actually explained properly, and that there is evidence of influence peddling in the report they presented? I want us to kind of look at it from that angle, and also whether we are seeing so many instances of this where corruption seems to be fighting back too hard. Let me take it first from Paul Isosu. Paul, I know you are in a position, but this is a very interesting one. Of course, we saw what happened to Amidu, and any official or public official who tries to fight corruption. We've seen several different instances where corruption actually fought them harder than they thought, are possible. So in this particular instance, do you think the OSP did a good job here from your read of the report?
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Muzo, and I'm grateful to be here this afternoon to join this show. We are talking about, the canker that has eaten this NPP government, and for short, this is the most corrupt government in the history of Ghana since we got our independence in 1957. This is the party that is known to be the most corrupt ever in the history of Ghana, because as we look at, the cases upon cases, cases after cases, you realize that, most of the cases are clear conflict of interest cases. It's not only the Labianca case. Let's look at what is happening at the Ministry of Finance. As we speak, since they took power in 2017, 7th January, all the roadshows that they've gone, this incompetent and visionless and aimless government, through the Minister for Finance and his deputy, they've made over 159.7 million Ghana cedi from Ghanaians, because they take themselves to be advisors when we are going for a roadshow. So what I am trying to derive at this afternoon is that it is not only this Labianca case, it is all over. Now let me drill down to the Labianca case. How come that this lady has been operating for years? How did it happen that all these years this lady never had tariff reduction until he was appointed to be a board member of the Ghana Port Authority? That is where he was able to get tariff reduction.
Right.
The fact of the issue is that this gentleman misrepresent, or this company, Labianca company, misrepresented and deceived public officers. Why am I saying so? When they ship, chicken thighs, they will rather misreport it and say that it was chicken wings, and then they devalue it. Apart from even doing that, they even ask for special tax exemption. And this is all what is making our country to be where we are today. All these people are taking advantage of the common man down there. Alfred, the time has come that all of us, whether you are MPP, you are NDC, you are independent, we all need to rise up and say to this incompetent Akufo-Addo government that enough is enough.
Right.
Because look at the so many rot that is going on at the port. Look, if we are able, to strengthen the processes and procedures at the port, there is no need for us to go begging for money.
Right.
Because there's a lot of rot going on at the port where people are taking, or people are removing their goods free without not paying taxes. I believe if the OSP has to go into details to look at other cases, there'll be a lot of instances of such that is coming up.
Right.
Now, my question over here is, after the OSP put its report out there, we had members of, the MPP trying to, say that the OSP was in a rush and all those stuff.
But do you think they are justified in that claim, though?
They are not. I have stated on this show. The day, you remember when this Jabin was appointed to be the special prosecutor.
Right.
I was here and I said to you guys all that if only Nanado will allow him to do his job, But it has shown that this guy is going to be interrupted, is going to be disturbed, is going to be he's going to be pushed to the wall.
But
Not
it appears the job he did here was very incompetent. He himself didn't do a good job.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, that's why I'm
to.
coming to.
Okay.
That's what I'm coming to. In this under Akufo-Addo's government, if you are trying to fight corruption, the corruption or the system will fight you.
Right.
There are different example instances that I can show. The former Auditor General, Dumalevo, when Dumalevo tried to fight the corruption in the system, what happened to him? Corruption fought him and got him out of the system.
Right.
And even with this Labianca issue, I'm saying that the special prosecutor, when look at the report, even did not do a good job. We should have, if he has done a good job, we would have gotten more than what he is trying to ask these people to pay back.
Right.
The case over here is that we have a president that is corrupt to the core. His appointees are corrupt to the core. And it's unfortunate that we have people who call themselves communicators coming on show to defend this corrupt act that is affecting the nation Ghana. As we speak, $1 is going for 10.03 Ghana cedi. Now, our brothers and our sisters back home who are government salary workers, how many percentage interest have they put on their money? Inflation is 32 point something percent. The country is going on its knees. And all what this incompetent and visionless government will do is to be giving, goodies to their, cronies. This is unacceptable. I am speaking and I'm using this medium to talk to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo to sit up because Ghana is not for him and his family. They should stop what they are doing because the country is collapsing under him. He has to sit up. And these things that we are talking about, it is not because we are in the opposition. That's why we are talking about it. I would have said the same thing if my party is in government and this rot is going on. And the most annoying part of the whole issue is that anytime this rot are going on, this government has never had the balls to able to prosecute people. How come that a board member in Ghana Port Authority's board of trustee will be implicated in such a deal? And the shameful part of it is that I was expecting this lady to have resigned as we speak, but this lady is still at post. And if it were to be in this country, United States of America, the lady would have far gone. Because even she being over there, she will hinder investigation. And the truth, all the truth and the fact will not come out because once she's sitting on the board and the colleagues on the board will try to cover up. And it is a right thing for her to do that. She should step aside and let's allow the OSP to go back and do thorough investigation into this issue. We are losing millions of dollars, millions of cedis from the port. And if only all of us as a country, we can come together and then make sure that we block all the loopholes at the port. There is no need for us to come to the IMF. There is no need for us to go to the World Bank and go and be begging for money. We have to do what is right in the eyes of the good people of Ghana. And it is time for Nana Addo to stop the petty and to stop the childish behavior and do what is right and know that Ghana is not for him and his family or the MPP. Ghana is for all of us. I am very upset this afternoon because this thing is going on and it's like the president is not ready to do anything about it. The president is not ready to help and let's reduce the difficulty and the hardship our brothers are going through. A lot of our friends back home are going through hardship in Ghana now. My family members, my friends, they are calling me all over to assist them. And it's unfortunate. And the people in government, they have the luxury to be doing these corrupt acts and be engaged in corrupt actions. I am saying over here that this Labianca case, we should look at it again.
Right.
And you see, the most annoying part of the whole issue is that the appointees of government who have been implicated are fighting the OSP. And this is a shame. This is a shame. Kisi Ajabe should sit up. Kisi Ajabe should stand on his feet. We should all, including Kojo DC, including Efa, all of us should support this OSP to succeed. Irrespective of the party we belong to.
Right.
Let us make sure that we support the OSP to succeed. Corruption, whether being the NDC, the NPP, let's talk about it. Let's bring it out. I personally believe, if we can all look at the interest of Ghana and put Ghana at Ghana's interest at number one on the pedestal, we can make Ghana to become like the US. There will not be need for our brothers and sisters to be struggling, going through the Atlantic Ocean, going through borders to struggle to get out of Ghana. So I want to use this media, and I want to appeal to our colleagues over here this evening that let's speak truth. Let us try not to defend the indefensible, because there's nothing to be defending here about this Labianca case.
Right.
The government has been caught red-handed. I was expecting the president to talk about it, but he has pretended as if he does not know what is going on, and he's rather, telling lies when he traveled to the north to go and commission projects. And even those projects he went to commissions, most of the projects were started by the former administration. He refused to give credit, telling lies. And the time has come for Akufo-Addo to be told in his face that he's a 76 or 78-year-old man. He should stop the lies and speak truth, and let's speak truth to power, and let Akufo-Addo know that he is getting out of hand. He should sit up. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Wow. Paul. I think there's a reason we missed you, right? Let me bring you into this conversation, Mr. Kojo DC. But before I do so, I want to kind of lay a nice background so everybody really gets on the same page with us in terms of the issues that are up for the discussion today. So in this report that was released by the OSP about the Labianca company, it says in the findings that Labianca company commenced the operation in 2014, as I've said already. And the company is wholly owned and controlled by Miss Asamoah Hene. On all practical and legal considerations, the company actually imports about 240-footer shipping containers of frozen chicken parts, fish, pork, fries a month from Europe and the United States. That there was not much engagement between 2014 to 2017, and the OSP find it curious that as soon as Miss Jacqueline became Council of State member, the applications for advanced ruling started coming in.
I've heard
yes.
It's not a Council of State member. He's a board member of the Ghana Port Authority.
She's also a board member of the what do you call it?
Ghana Port Authority.
The Ghana Port Authority.
She's a member of
Council of State as well.
Oh, she's a member of Council of State. I didn't even know about that.
Yes.
I didn't even look at this. Look at this conflict of interest.
Yeah.
My God.
Yes. So it says the Office of a Special Prosecutor, of course, of special significance to the investigation is a joint application for acceptance of value of frozen foods intended to be imported lodged at the Customs Division by Labianca, Rafano, and Frozen Foods Company Limited on 6 April 2021, 2 months after the appointment of Eduche as the Deputy Commissioner. I wanted us to pay attention to some dates here, right? I think a lot of people are having some legitimate questions about the job done by the Office of Special Prosecutor here, because it's reading with a lot of mistakes. One of them here you could see is he's saying that of special significance to the investigation is a joint application for acceptance of value of frozen foods intended to be imported lodged at the Customs Division by Labianca and Rafano Frozen Foods Company Limited on 6 April, 2 months after the appointment of Mr. Eduche as the Deputy Commissioner of the Customs Division in charge of operations. So Eduche, from this paragraph here, it's telling me that Eduche was appointed when? In February. Do you guys all have the same understanding?
Yes, that's what it means.
Perfect. Okay, so let's keep on. And then he says the application was almost outlandish because, of course, he was asking for 50% reduction, 50 to 80% lower than the approved benchmark value of the frozen foods. However, Mr. Eduche proceeded to render a custom advance ruling to the applicants by reducing the value of their intended imports between an average of 5 to 10%. So again, we go back. The application was asking for 50 to 80% reduction. But then the ruling that was given by the Customs Division, or Mr. Eduche in this particular case, only reduced it by 5 to 10%. Okay? And if you continue to say below the approved benchmark value of the, okay, Mr. Eduche claimed that he based his decision on a proper procedure being a letter dated January 2018, authored by Mr. Isaac, Crenstill, a former commissioner of the division, and that this decision resulted in prevention of loss of revenue to the state, on and on and on. And then he says here that customs advance ruling is an authoritative decision in respect of tax consequence of a transaction or a proposed transaction or an assessment in that regard. The United Nations Trade Facility Implementation Guide sounds the main attribute of customs advance ruling as facilitating the declaration and consequently the release and clearance process as critical assessment in relation to the goods referred to in the ruling. And then he went and listed all kinds of the things that are required and the rules, the laws on which such application is raised. He says custom advance rulings are ordinarily issued by the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority. The OSP finds that for practical purposes, custom advance rulings are issued by the Commissioner of the Customs Division of the Ghana, Revenue Authority. The propriety or otherwise of this practice is not subject of this investigation. So they are not really holding the commissioner himself, liable in this particular case. They are saying because Eduche himself has not even disclosed these rulings to the commissioner. He says customs advance rulings are issued in relation to tariff declarations, whatever the activities in question may be. A request for custom advance ruling must, of necessity, be in writing, include a laundry list of requirements. He went over those requirements. In addition to the above requirements, a request of custom advance ruling in relation to revaluation of goods for custom purposes must include the required information or an invoice, the term of trade, including free, on board, cost, insurance, On another score, a request for the advance ruling in relation to tariff declaration of goods must also include a complete description of the merchandise, including the packing weight, chemical analysis, and description of goods. So on and on, he went into what is required, the rules required for that. But there's a point I want to make here. It says the OSP finds that Mr. Eduche's cited basis for his decision are unattainable. The decision find its anchor if based in such on no other hypothesis but one that was born out of influence peddling. So I'm trying to figure out where the influence peddling really occurred here. It says Mr. Eduche's decision to render an advance ruling to the applicants by reducing the intended imports between 5 to 10% below the benchmark values was wrongful and unsupported by requirements of the law for issuance of the custom advance ruling. Colonel Damoa acknowledged the disingenuity of the outcome of the outcome by admitting that the applicant did not meet the legal requirement for issuance of custom advance ruling. Then again, Ms. Asamoah Hini and Mr. Eche Gadegbeku stated expressly that Labianca did not apply for custom advance ruling. So this is very critical. From the company themselves, they are saying they did not apply for a custom advance ruling. Okay, the admission by the officials of Labianca that entity did not apply for custom advance ruling belies Mr. Eduche's stance, and it vividly betrays all pretense of propriety of action by that official. The outcome of the application, which founded the basis of the complaint, which formed the basis of the complaint, was not and could not have been an either-or situation. That is to say that the application was not amenable to have transformed to an application for custom advance ruling should the application in its original form be rejected. So he said so many things here. But the reason I'm reading all this is to say that just to kind of put our finger on the exact issue. What exactly is the fundamental question that the OSP is trying to resolve here? And if you look at it, it looks like is that 2021 advanced ruling application that was filed, which the company is denying. Now, if you go to the company's own statement, the company said something different, that in whatever they did, even the applications that they submitted to the OSP, they did it in good faith and that they were qualified. So in one stand, they did not actually put an application in, but in another stand, they're admitting that they put in an application. So in understanding, in everything I've just read to you so far, Coach DC, do you believe that the OSP has done a thorough investigation and understood the intricacies of these rulings that they are accusing Mr. Eduche of undertaking here? Could you? Oh, I think he dropped, and then could you see? I think you dropped, and I was asking you a question. Anyway, so I was asking. I don't know if you heard all my ranting about.
Yeah, I've heard it. But can you hear me?
I can hear you now. So, what is your take on whether you think the OSP has done a good job here?
All right. Before I answer your question, thank you very much again, and to the panel members and your viewers and listeners at the same time. Like I said last week to you, the Washington, D.C. MPP chapter, if I would take your indulgence to do this before I answer your question. We are having the end of summer picnic, which the embassies to be available services, the services with our guest speaker, which will be our branch chairperson, which is Obaya, going to be around. The ambassador herself was also going to be available. So if any of you, should any of the listeners pass by on October 1st, they can pass by. All Ghanaians are cordially invited, not just MPP members. They should be able to pass by for MPP Washington, D.C. chapter end of summer picnic. All right. So thank you very much. Let me say this. First of all, I've not been able to read the OSP report, and you're asking if he has done a good job. I would say yes. The reason being that you have to start somewhere, and at the end of the day, if he hasn't started something, we'll not even have this thing, whether Labianca applied for some exemption or did not. You're right. So at least we have the surface of it. So it's very important that he started this. He's a human being. He's in his office. They are bound to. We have this in an account that say, so there's always going to be some mistakes, and people will punch holes in whatever the good thing that you do, especially when it comes to fighting people without power or authority, right?
Right.
So let me say this. I have not read both statements. So my every suggestion or contribution I'm going to make is going to be on a different level. And this is, okay. I'm an importer myself, right? I don't have those connections. And last year, I took 3 containers. I paid almost 200,000 Ghana cedis. No exemptions. So when I hear people with this influence to have this exemption because of the kind of position they hold or had, it just bothers me a lot. Because the ordinary person, which is a trader who imports, don't have such luxury. Right. Or most of us don't. And this is not a peculiar to one government, right? There are big men in these 2 political parties, quote unquote, that are more or less they are decision makers of the people that we quote and say they are in power, because they influence or contribute towards political parties to come to power. And as soon as they are not for the Christmas, as soon as these people, the government comes to power, their businesses and other things that, because of their contribution, are being exempted. And then we are talking about this morning, I had the opportunity to listen to Joy FM, and the former something, and he backdated this. This is not started within this region, right? It is
Right.
corruption. I just have to say it's true. But for me, I'm an importer. I pay every dime. So if anybody is, I don't care who it is, if even my president, I have to talk against it because I am paying for it. Why aren't you paying for it? My things will be expensive. Why is whoever is having those advantages can sell their things quicker because they have these exemptions and make more money, whilst my things will be sitting in the port or sitting in my garage and I can't pay for it. So I don't know what to say on this. I don't want us to be politicized in terms of the like equalize, oh, NDC people have done it. It's true. That has happened. It's not just like car auction, warehouse bonding, that people, for instance, companies like Toyota Ghana brings in like 400-500 Toyota Land Cruisers, pickups, whatever. They are not able to pay for duties, right? They have a warehouse bonding where all these vehicles goes, and not just, I'm just giving an example. And I'm not saying they are not paying.
But I mean, so the accusation is that, the directives that was given by the colonel, who's the former commissioner, pretty much was what Mr. Eduche here was going by. It wasn't just him getting out, because if you look at the application that the OSP alleged has been filed for the value reduction, that application apparently was asking for 50 to 80%. But this man granted 5 to 10%, okay? The OSP made an allegation that these applications have been coming in since 2017, but the only one he's able to prove was the one from April 6th of 2021. So between 2017 and 2018, has the OSP now found any of such applications to bring to light? Because if you're going to report that somebody has been peddling influence from 2017, you need to show that track record. Does the OSP now, does he now have that evidence? Now, also, if you look at the words that the OSP wrote here for sort of how he captured the letter that the colonel released in 2018, which was the letter that the Commissioner Eduche is claiming was the basis of him granting the reduction. The letter reads as, please be informed that with effect from Tuesday, 13 February 2018, the following graduated valuation shall apply to frozen food imported into the country relating to the quantum of the consignment per shipment and the value per kilogram vis-a-vis the benchmark value. And he stopped there. What prevented the OSP from releasing that entire letter? Because it says the following graduated what? The following graduated valuation shall apply. What are those graduated valuations that he was referring to? Of course, that should have been in letter, because otherwise this is incomplete. Why would the OSP produce an incomplete letter, which he actually gathered from his investigation of this case, to produce a report and leave us in some sort of, in my understanding, if he was doing a good job, he should have produced all these things. Don't you find it curious? Doesn't Labianca have a case here?
The curiosity, they say, killed the cat, right? So as of now, the report, is that the final report that was given, or is still ongoing as investigation?
It's so far is the final report is released, right? Because he's surcharged them, and the company apparently paid back already.
Maybe, like I said, I haven't been able to read through the report. I've not read anything about it, so I'm treading here cautiously. But I'm just telling you what that goes on at the port, right? It's general. I'm just not. It's because it's now Miss Asumeni, Labianca company, so it's all over. Right. But that's not the only. Maybe it's just the tip of the iceberg. But what I am trying to say is, there are Ghanaians who do businesses who are paying all these tariffs in terms of duties for the government to make money. So if people are getting exemptions, in effect, are they even reducing the price if you're having an exemption of even 5%? If I have 5%, I'll be happy. My price of a car will be reduced. But even if those people, quote unquote, qualify, right? Are they reducing the price to effect that reduction that they got from the government? Or are they still selling it and making excess profit? Yeah, those are the things we all. So, like I said, I don't want to base anything on this, but this is something that is going on. And for me, I will not defend it because as an importer myself,
Mm-hmm.
I pay my tariffs. I make sure every day, like I told you, last time I went to Ghana and put it up, there was about 100 plastic chairs that I took. The gentleman who my agent did not declare all of it. Declare, I
Right.
think, out of 100, they put only 10. And then a custom officer came and said, hey, give me 6,000 Ghana cedis for this. And I said, that's $600. I'm not paying for it. Go
Okay.
and go value it, and then I'll pay for it. But let me just land. I'm just saying this for us all to know that today, my brother Paul is saying is corruption. There's no doubt these things happens in both government. I'm
Right.
just wishing when the government comes in power, you'll be able to do the same like I am doing now, because this is not right. Right? I know in every rules of engagement there's exception. People with set influence, quote unquote, are going to get some exceptions in the world. But
Right.
it should be something that will be beneficiary to the Ghanaian, all the Ghanaian people. Not just because somebody, especially when you're a member of Council of State and you're sitting on the board and taking a decision, even if you are not qualified, by your influence alone, people, Ghana people can just change your destination, their destiny in a minute. So people will just be forced to do things even when they are not qualified. So I'm not basing anything on the ASP, but I will say we should rather support the ASP, no matter how mistaken he might.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. So let me bring in.
That is the good start where we have to encourage that thing to happen, irrespective of who God is asked. For
All right.
me, it's a good thing that the ASP have done that. But let me finish with this one. If Paul Jesus said the MPP government is the most corrupt, I mean, in the Fourth Republic, there's never been any government that a judge, a sitting judge, have said this is create, loot, and share. That will be the only one party, that's the NDC. That's nothing to do with the
because
MPP.
because the current judges are supporting you guys and they are part of the corruption. That is why they are not able to talk about it. That is why we have a judge. That's why we have a Supreme Court judge who has been implicated in a $5 million scandal, and they have tried to cover it. If you care to know, the judges are now corrupt, just like the president and all of you.
Hold on.
All right.
Paul, hold on.
Okay. Let's move it on. Let's move it on.
Let me. He said something. Let me end. I always say this to friends just for a laughter. You know, Bob Santo. He said, "Prono Juma by a chiwa, yenchiwa, we free, yechiwa, and the means of my natural one, and so papa natural." So
All
whoever
right.
is
On
caught
that note,
is the one that we're
we gotta
talking
move on.
about.
We gotta move
We
on.
don't have anything to say.
Okay. Let me bring in my big brother here, Lifetime Legacy. Lifetime Legacy. Lifetime. I am finding trouble actually believing that in the current Ghana we live in, all right, that the most important thing to actually go after is a 5% reduction in benchmark value for some importer who perhaps got that based on some ruling, because actually what she was applying for was 80%. If she was actually peddling influence, she should be getting at least the 50 or the 80%. But here is it, she's getting 5%. I find it hard to believe that is the biggest thing that the OSP should actually be going after at this current moment. This is the moment where there are accusations of people still doing galamsey, still doing the things that the president, there are allegations of people in the administration. For instance, even the Minister of Health, there were allegations of him procuring vaccines without going through the necessary processes. There's so many corruption cases in our country, and this is the one the OSP chose to go after. Does that make you any happy or any satisfied that he's actually doing his job properly?
Alfred, good afternoon to our listeners and our viewers, and also to my brother Kojo and my senior comrade Paul. Before I come to the main question you asked, I would like to draw my brother Kojo's attention that the judge that made that statement that we are creating to loot and share is a member of MPP. In fact, he was penned to have been the current speaker when the MPP was shortlisting the list for the parliament speaker of parliament. But unfortunately, we don't know what happened, and he was sidelined at the 11th hour. So that comment he made, even though we all know very well judges are not supposed to be political, he made that comment to support his party bid to come power. So I want my brother Kojo to know that the judge is an MPP member. He made that comment politically to support his party to come to power. Now let me go back to
Do you know he has a membership card of MPP, or you're
it's
just
a public knowledge.
Could you let him flow? We'll give you more time to respond. Go ahead.
So, Alfred, whether the OSP is tackling the corruption fight from the right source or not, for me, I think I will commend him from wherever he's decided to start from. It is very appalling, very unfortunate, very disrespectful, very unethical, very unpleasant for Colonel Damois to have described him as a small boy. The knowledge, as we all know, there is a saying that goes that the knowledge of what they call it, Methuselah, have nothing to do with the wisdom of King Solomon.
I don't think it's Colonel. Was it Colonel Damois or it was Mr. Duche?
Colonel Damois is the one who made the statement.
Even though Colonel Damois is not subject of this investigation because he's a retired commissioner, right?
No, he is the current commissioner.
He's still the commissioner.
Okay.
So for him to make that statement, I find it so ridiculous, shameful, arrogant, if the least to say about it. Like I said, knowledge have no respect of age. Fortunate for me, I turned 44 years today. So I see myself in the shoe of the OSP, and to be described in that manner, it's very, very appalling, and the least said about it, the better. Alfred, Ghana, for me, one of the way we can make a huge internal generation from is the ports. The two ports we have, that is Takoradi and Tema. If there is no corruption and interference of leadership, and we decided that what we are earning from the two ports will go into judicial use, there is no way, there's no need for us going to borrow money from outside.
Right.
Because when you look at the volume of things that are imported on a yearly basis and the kind of charges that are mitigated to the importers, it's so much that if we decided to, or the authorities decided to be fair to the system without thinking of themselves, cronies and party faithful, and they want to be truthful and accountable to the country, there's no need. So for me, where the OSP decided to start the corruption fight from, for me, it's legitimate. It's happened during Atamel's time, where Atamel questioned how some of them are able to acquire wealth within a short time. They get into, they are enrolled into the service. So there's so much corruption, and for me, whether there is a galamsey and other corruption-related issues.
So let me ask you: are you worried that what we are discussing is actually a reduction in 5% of the benchmark value of the of a product? So in other words, I brought something from the US. It costs $2,000, and we reduce the prices by 5%. So now we are saying it costs $1,900, and then I get charged a tax on the $1,900. Are you worried that it is so insignificant? It's like we are giving you a 5% break on the value you declare, not 80%.
Alfred, I'll come to that. I'll come to that. I'm building a point. So some of this corruption, for instance, the woman in question, is a politician, if not a politician, a political financier. So some of these things do happen. It happened in the past during when my government was in power. There is a former Greater Accra regional aspirant who was also involved or alleged to have invaded something like this, and it's happening in this current administration. So I am not saying that it is a good thing to do, but what I'm saying is that it's wrong, and this also have to bring to the conversation of political financing. There is no Father Christmas.
Well, when you say it's wrong, what is wrong?
Where people are people who finance political party when they import goods.
But that is an allegation that is not included in the report we are currently talking about. There is nothing in the report that says that Ms. Jacqueline financed political party. So that's something you are importing into this.
Alfred, I am a politician, and I'm speaking as a politician. There is no way the woman would have applied or get those favors if she didn't do any contribution towards the success of the party, which is a member of the Council of State.
Yeah, you don't know that. So I would like.
I know what I'm talking about.
We're on radio, and what we say goes out there.
Alfred.
So we want to make sure we stick to just the facts, right? We don't know that.
Alfred, allow him to flow. Please.
Well, I think he's making some allegations that are not necessarily fair, because you can't say for a fact that he's a politician.
We live in Ghana.
How are political parties financed in Ghana?
Right.
And let me tell you on authority, no.
But I'm saying we don't know that. There's no
hardly will you support political parties who go to fund, solicit for funding from people, and they'll put the source of the funding to public. Okay, I was in 2016. I went to some businessmen to solicit for help for my candidate in Ablekuma West 2016 election. Assuming those my constituency, the candidate won the election. Okay, and the next day, the person we went to solicit for help from, and that my candidate was made a minister, and the person who we went to solicit for help from is appointed, and that person comes and need favor. It will be very difficult. I will turn my back against that person.
Right. Okay.
You get it. So that is it is the reality. We can decide that we will pretend to be like buried our head like ostrich, but that is the reality. That is why the call on the political party funding must be taken serious to eliminate some of these underhandling. Because if the nation decided to finance the political parties, and the individuals will not contribute to the sustenance of the political parties, there will not be an appetite to go to see an individual who is a businessman and solicit for money, let alone that person coming forth to ask for favor when the person winning power. So for me, those are, if we want to tackle some of these underhandlings, under invoicing to people who are politically connected, the only way we can do it is to allow the state to finance the political parties. Alfred, the woman had been in business for so many years, and she was not getting the kind of reduction she's getting at this time.
But what kind of reduction are we talking about?
We are talking about the one that the OSP has.
I want you to say, tell me.
The under invoicing and the
over 1 million Ghana cedis.
The over 1 million the OSP has had,
which is about 5 for 10% of underdeclared, between 5 to 10% of underdeclared or revenue ruling, which she got, right?
That money can build six-story building, classroom block in my village.
Well, I want us to take it to one step at a time, because again, this woman does a lot of business. She's bringing 200 containers a month. Okay? Do we allow advanced revenue rulings in our country? And the answer to that is yes, we do. what are the circumstances that are which we allow that? We can go into those circumstances, but this is an allowed practice. You say that the application she actually brought was for 80%, but she got 5%. Okay? Is she the only person who's gotten that before? So I'm saying that if in reality this woman wants to peddle influence, do you think 5% will be what she's looking for?
Alfred,
why has she not been given the 80% she applied for? So again, maybe
Alfred,
there's something to say about whether the special prosecutor is also responsible or not, because there is something that didn't come out in his reports.
Alfred, regardless of how meager the amount is, that is also a money. We need to look at it in that regard. Assuming everybody
that's a practice that happens. I mean, there are people who are getting
assuming everybody
they are saving money way above the amount that is in contention today.
Yes, for me, that is why I'm saying that. For me, the strategy of the OSP to start from that institution alone, to send a clear signal, to send a panel,
that's what
let the people sit up.
Yes.
You get it. So regardless of whatever amount is involved, it to enable the officers to know that, hey, there is a big brother somewhere watching us. For us, let's sit up and do the right thing. Right. I am not talking about.
So you don't think this is a small screen, because we have a finance minister who's been accused of a conflict of interest whenever we go get a loan. I think that is a big enough issue. So
I agree with you. But what I'm saying is that no corruption is bigger than the other.
Right.
Okay. Regardless of whatever amount is involved, no corruption is bigger than the other. But what I'm saying is that we are where we are as a nation because of some of these thievery at the what do you call it, our ports and harbors. You get it? So if the OSP decided that I am going to fight corruption, but this is where I want to start with, let's support him in that regard.
Right.
Okay. And also, Rome is not built in a day. For me, the way he started, I'm happy about it.
But do we support the OSP even if he's producing some incompetent reports about people? Because people's reputation is very, a company's reputation is one of the key things that they hold to, right? You cannot defame this company by releasing a report like this with the type of report he actually produced. So should we just support OSP because OSP released a report or seem to be doing something?
No.
Even if what that thing is wrong?
No.
Because it could be you next time.
Yes.
Or Kojo, it could be you.
Yes. I am not in any way supporting that he should do a shoddy job. Okay. We all know his what do you call it? He attained this position not quite long, but we should commend him for the effort. Okay. This is a right. The woman, for me, is a member of Council of State, somebody who must set an example. So if he have the balls to call some of those people to order, let's see where he'll go next. That is what I am saying. If he becomes biased in his delivery, that is where some of us, we can come back and call him to order. But for me, so far, Alfred, let me tell you something. I asked of...
Make that your last point, please.
Yes, I requested for, in the past, you can check the duty that you have to pay on app.
Cars and all of that, yeah.
Those things have been taken off. You get it? Those things have been taken off. So, and the kind of things going on at the harbor, our harbor that place needs to be sanitized. And in my last comment to bring this submission to an end, I also have problem with the volume of poultry importation into the country. 200 containers, we are talking of frozen food
a month
into our country.
But do you know what what's the problem?
Do you know if we decided to avoid this by empowering our local poultry farmers, do we know how this can stabilize our country currency? Do we know how this can give opportunity as job to people? Do we know the number of people this can put food on their table? Should we continue to
it's a free market, right? So you let the companies compete, so there's no point in trying to use some type of restriction as to what you bring in or not. If the local company wants to compete I mean, they should have their poultry farms produce the best meat, and I'm sure the local people will enjoy it.
That's right. I
In the
disagree with
meantime,
you
in the meantime,
because at the end of the day,
somebody
you
has
and
to eat
I will
chicken.
come back
So
and be on this platform to talk about the depreciation of the cedi.
City, yeah.
Okay, these are some of the things that are contributing to our currency losing its value. Importation
yeah,
of sugar, importation of rice, importation of crude oil, importation of frozen food.
yeah, but I'm saying until you have those things domestically produced enough to satisfy the population, we are going to be importing. So I mean, let's not distract from the conversation anyway. The point being that advanced revenue rulings are things that we do in our country.
Yes.
People get those rulings every time to reduce the value of whatever they are bringing into the country. So, what is so special? This woman is even claiming, the special prosecutor is claiming that this woman has been doing it since 2017. He couldn't raise a letter. He could not even cite one instance in 2017, 2018, in 2019, where she has done what she's been accused of. He only could talk about something that was filed in 2021. I'm
Yes,
saying,
Alfred.
why drag somebody through this? I mean, make sure
I am saying that,
whatever precedents you are allowing to be set here, that you would allow it to if it is being applied to you.
Alfred, I am not supporting or condoning wrongdoing.
Right.
Okay, that'll be the last thing I will do. Okay, but as far as the corruption fight is concerned, even if he could not provide evidence of what has happened 100 years ago, and he decided to start from today, why don't we commend him?
Now, we
For a
should
good
not
start.
necessarily do that. I mean, if you're going to bring something like this, it's a huge allegation. It's a business you're collapsing there. But anyway, I would switch to Afar now and see what he has to say. Afar,
No, but like, give me, just give me 1 minute.
I'm going to
Let
give
me
you a
answer
rebuttal
your
time, Kojo. But okay,
No,
Kojo, take 2
just
minutes quickly.
yeah. So my problem with you having a problem, like why should no? If some people have been surcharged and they went to court, so why did she pay if she has not done anything wrong? And instead of we commending the
And that's another
OSP,
thing we need to talk about, because I think the
yeah,
OSP
but
should have
no,
taken this to courts rather
no,
than
the OSP
publishing.
has not. No, the OSP has nothing to go to court. They surcharge the company. The company paid. If they have not made anything, they've not done anything wrong. Why did you pay? You go to court so that the surcharge will go away, like Domlevo did to certain even
Well, they
former
said they are going to go
NDC
to court.
members.
According to the
No,
company's letter
they
they released. Have you read
they've al-
their response?
like I said, I haven't read anything, but for me, and
Okay, so
I
you
agree
may
with
not be current on the
yeah,
issues.
I'm agreeing with Lifetime Legacy because this is a precedent. You know, we have to start somewhere, and if the OSP can go to
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that you are willing to
yeah,
accept anything. So the OSP
no,
can go and the OSP
no,
can not do any wrong in your eye. I mean, the
no,
fact that he's an OSP means whatever he
hold
publishes
on,
out there, it's a
hold
go.
on, hold
Because
on,
we have
hold
to
on,
start from somewhere. I mean, what kind
hold
of
on,
logic is that?
hold on, I'm gonna see. The OSP did not go to Kojo. Did not go for Kojo. He went to a very person of a member of council of state. That tells you a lot. That tells you that if she didn't have anything, he didn't have anything, he wouldn't have gone to that state. We're talking
Well,
about Ghana, so we should be tread cautiously in terms of just criticizing. Oh, this is a shoddy thing that he has done. If they have any power, they should go to court. Let's see what happens. For me, corruption in any form, thievery is thievery. So we should support them instead of just condemn. Oh, this is just a little money. What kind of money?
okay.
Of what
All
I
right.
make a mighty.
Okay,
So we start somewhere.
Alfred,
let me bring in
quick one. You see, two things that I mean we are forgetting over here.
right.
The first one was it is alleged that they even under declare what were in the containers. Example, if this chicken thighs, they said it's chicken wings.
Is that in the report as well?
I mean, that's the allegation that has been made, and some of the issues that people are raising against the special prosecutor, saying that you should have gone into those things to find out if that allegation were true. That's number one. Number two, I mean, as Kojo and then Legacy have said, I mean, the special prosecutor has started from somewhere, but I would have expected him, to go back as 2017 to produce or to give us, I mean, the vivid evidence. Whatever it is, he has started from somewhere. We need to look at him. I am saying over here is that the customs advance ruling is not something that is new. It is
It's
there.
not new, yeah.
But let's all come into an agreement. Let's put, criteria to us and what can be used to apply those advanced custom advance ruling, because it's the discretion of the commissioner to decide whether I'm going to do this or that or that.
Right.
But if we are able to put rules and regulations over there to guide when and how those custom advance rules should be applied, I think it will help us all. Moving forward, I think, at least he has started something. And for me,
I
I'm
don't think
thinking
he has a case. I don't think in the report. I haven't
no, but
seen a case established
Amuzu,
there.
the response to the OSP's letter by the Labianca company of Roof
Right.
even confirmed most of the things that the special prosecutor was
Yeah,
saying.
it sounds like a confirmation.
It's a convention. So
Even I have a problem with them.
for me, even though I'm not happy about the details of the report, as my colleagues have said, he has started from somewhere. 1 million Ghana cedis is a lot of money. Let's hope that this thing don't happen again, whether in the NDC era, MPP, PCP era. Let's look at these things. Let's all work together and then generate money at our ports so that we can help the local indigenous who are suffering, people who are sleeping on the street, people who cannot get a day meal to eat, people who go to the hospital and lie on the floor. These are the things we should do. These are the things we should do.
Okay, Paul. Let me bring in a file on this note. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah, I don't know if you are understanding or you are following my line of thought here. For me, per se, I'm saying that there was a letter when the OSP actually interviewed Eduche, who's the custom commissioner who actually approved this application. The custom officer told him that I approved the application based on a letter that was actually released by the general commissioner in 2018. You produce excerpts of that letter. The letter says the following graduated valuation numbers would be used for any imports from February 2018 going forward. But you didn't tell us those graduated valuation numbers. You didn't tell us whether it was going to be 5%, it was going to be 10%. You didn't give us any yardstick to know that whatever it is or whatever advanced ruling that the custom commissioner was giving was wrong or not wrong. But you drew this big conclusion that this woman was peddling influence since 2017. Again, you couldn't show us in 2017, 2018, 2019 any instances of such applications that have been approved. You even alluded to the fact that the custom officer, what is the name? Eduche was appointed in February of 2021. So what is the background or what is the evidence he has for 2017, 2018, 2019 peddling? Was Eduche, who wasn't appointed then, still approving those? I don't get it. For me, I want my special prosecutor to actually unravel all sorts of corruption cases, but he need to do his job well. You can't do such a shoddy work and expect us to support you. Do you agree?
So agree or not agree, it's a subjective thing, and I see where you're punching holes and stuff like that. For me, sitting here, and what I want the special prosecutor to do, since this office was established, they've not really living up to my expectations. So when issue come up and they picking it, I always, jump to the roof and say, yes, they got somebody. Now, finally, something is in the pipe. But what you are saying is also very important. You see, issues about corruption, tagging somebody with corruption, bringing allegation, they are serious matters, because at the end of the day, somebody will read the allegation, the person will not read the corruption, if the person is cleared, and will be carrying on this issue of this person is that person is that. So that is that. The special prosecutor's office and the people that have been there, we expect them to do a very fine work. But this is also part of the process, that if somebody accuses you of something, they did it wrongly, don't do due process and stuff like that, that you correct it. You put structures in place to say you have done this or you have not done this. So in that context, it is a process, and sometimes they can get it wrong. And then, this is not the first time. I mean, when he came, there were cases that were already there. He said, no, somebody thought this was a corruption. I don't think it is. And there has been other cases that have gone there that has been dismissed because people are just trying to bring out issues that are really not there. But I sit here and we can go through the Fourth Republic and see that if you tell me that somebody is not using their influence to get duties waived, or to use auction to get their goods out, or not completely not passing through customs, it goes on and goes on. We want to play politics with it. We want to do that with that. It is an issue we can discuss another time. But these are real issues. People have used that place as a cash cow, and it cuts across government. And the people that we normally do this are so influential, they are able to get away with it. So as we deal with these things, let us deal with this professionally and dispassionately. And if the special prosecutor thinks that he has all the evidence and that these are just technical issues, they should deal with it. I like the way, I don't know if I can bring it in, I like the way that Labianca is also taking it up, that no, this is wrong, and they're explaining themselves and all that kind of stuff. So we balance it and we move on. We correct ourselves until we come to that equilibrium level. But what you are saying is very important. You see, this is a professional body. You have all the tools to work. So take your time and do a diligent work. When you do it this way, and it goes into this situation where we are able to punch holes and see that you are going, then it feeds into the other narrative that, oh, maybe you just targeting somebody wrongly, or you just targeting somebody for other reason other than for professional misconduct or for professional work that you want to do, and that cannot be accepted in the country now, or that cannot be accepted now. So the special prosecutor, if he thinks that there are real issues, should go back to the table and bring on. If Labianca think that they've also followed due process, they should to follow through the court process. But institutions must work, and they must be strong. Influence peddling is real. People are looting the country. They are bringing in goods. They are not paying the custom duties. They are getting their goods auctioned. They go back and buy them. Goods that are auctioned that are supposed to go, money that is supposed to go to the state don't go, and we cannot continue to allow these things, and we run to IMF and we run to these places, and we are shortfall in terms of revenue and all that kind of stuff. So we need a balance. We really need a balance, and once we are able to balance, we correct ourselves and we go to the next level. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Paul, any rebuttals or any lifetime legacy, or Kojo, do you have any rebuttals or any?
Well, I think my brother Ifa has spoken very well. The only problem is that he's doing guy this afternoon with his sunglasses, and he has raised the color of his shirt. He should stop that guy because I'm here for him. He should not try to play mischief, because if he tries to play mischief, I'll come after him. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it is fair to say.
For me, my emphasis will still go to the level of things we import into the country.
Okay.
You see, I'm still concerned about how we can. There are a lot of unemployment within the country, and we are creating opportunity and money for other countries. I suggest that the way Nigeria recently went about their rice importation and rice production, that is the best way for us as a country. They banned all rice importation and decided to go into serious farming. Now, go and see what is happening in Nigeria as far as rice production is concerned. You get it? So if dramatic action is not taken to reduce some of these things that they are being imported into the country, our city will continue to be the worst in the world. So the earlier we look at some of these things, I mean, it is going to be a very difficult decision to take, a very tough policy to take, but that is the way we must go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, my only concern with that is, yes, it is, we have to produce to feed our country, but at this point and at this moment in time, we are not there yet, right? We should, of course, put out policies that will help us get there. But just abruptly saying that we don't want to import rice or we don't want to import this, it's gonna just put too much more pressure on our people.
Alfred.
I am not pushing blame. This
Yeah.
is a particular issue that is very sensitive to me. Alfred, you and I gratefully.
Ghana is not Nigeria. We are more freer. You can't just tell Ghanaians that you are not importing rice. Come on. This is Ghana we are talking about.
Alfred, are Nigerians better than us?
But I'm saying Ghana has gotten to a certain place where
I am saying that, you see, we normally set the pace for them to follow.
Well, some of the things we are doing here,
Alfred, we normally set the pace for them to follow.
We'll be arrested,
Okay, we normally set the pace for Nigeria to follow. Look at when, that is where I also blame Kojo's government to some extent. When Rawlings decided, Abu Dhabi and Co. decided that they will use Aveime as a rice basket for the nation. They also come out of cheap politics, lack of vision, went after, allowed that machines to go rotten.
Right.
You get it?
Okay.
But there is no way, for me, I am saying that having seen how farming it's lucrative in this country, and how farming is impacting the economy, and how farming is so attractive and easy to do in this country. If the government and politicians and policymakers in Ghana decided that they will make that a priority, the nation can change that thing within one political cycle.
Okay.
One political cycle.
Okay, Kojo, do you have any additional statements you want to make on this issue?
Yes. See, today I'm with my brother, Lifetime Legacy. Listen, there should be a deliberate effort of government. We talk about China being producing everything. There was a deliberate effort from the government. So we should rather support our local instead of all these dollars we are using to import 200 copies of whatever comes into this. The government, I have always said this.
Isn't that the 1D, 1F thing?
Yeah, but there should be more. Last time I was thinking of this thing should, even when event this should come to power in a likely event, they should not go after this 1D, 1F companies that this government has helped. They should also extend it to add, even if it's their members. I agree with their all Ghanaians. And then that thing will continue. And then that will be the only way we'll get ourselves out of this mess that we are in. You see, but there should be a conscious, deliberate effort of government helping our locals to produce for ourselves instead of importing everything.
Okay. All right. So, guys, I don't know. I mean, we only doing one issue discussion today so that we can make it short and sweet, unless there's any other thing we want to talk about. I'd like to say thanks for coming. Let's do our last words and bring this to an end.
Amazu, I just want to still concentrate on at the port. See, it's not just this. Like I was telling you, that we have what we call warehouse bonding, where people bring in goods. For instance, maybe let's say 100 or 200 containers of rice, because they don't have the money to clear everything. They put it in a warehouse bonds where it go out from the port and it goes to this warehouse bond. And as soon as it gets there, all those things disappear without the Ghana government having any revenues of that, right? And then there are other ones that are what we call transit. I used to do that when I was in Ghana, where you pay cars like these big cars like the Lexus, the BMWs comes, you can pay for it. So you say you're doing transit, and then you just turn around and come back and sell the car in the country. Right. You understand? I know. Now they put some measures where you have to deposit some money down, and then once you go out of the country and bring what is called the transit from the either Burkina Faso or you go from Ivory Coast or Togo, then you bring it and then you collect your money back. Even that, there are still ways and means people are doing it. So we are having a leakages of revenue at the port. And those are the places where you can control a lot of your revenues, but it's going through other people's pockets. So for what the ASP did, Charlie, no matter how flawed you might see on this or whatever statement he brought out, it is a good step. And we should encourage, because see, there are people who these things are going to affect them in terms of their monies. So they will fight the system no matter what it is. Until we all support this guy and then do something to at least minimize the corruption and the things that goes into ordinary people. Because we're talking about Ghanaians are magicians. You pay them 500 Ghana cedis, but they are driving a $40,000 car. How did they make those monies?
Right. Yeah, we accept that there is corruption in the system. I'm just not sure that the way the OSP went about it is the way I would have gone about it. I think if you're going to make such a sweeping allegation of somebody peddling influence, you should be able to substantiate that.
The court is there. The court is there. She says she's going to. Labianca says she's going.
Yeah,
to
I mean, people are doing all kinds of
happens.
shady things. So maybe if you are caught with the little things, you might even want to settle it quickly. Because how much is it? Million cities. Yeah, I'm saying the amount involved here is not anything for, I'm sure, Miss Jacqueline to pay. So I'm sure that's why she went and paid it and kind of moved on. This thing happened, but publishing this report has some reputational impacts on her as well in the business. But my thing is, I mean, yes, of course, we should commend the special prosecutor for at least doing something, but I just think that he should be a little more forthcoming with releasing this information for us so that we can also, I know we are not privy to the interviews he did and some of the documents he reviewed, but as far as what he put up in the report, on the surface of it, it's not adding up for me. For me, I don't buy into the fact that somebody got a revenue ruling, one which is cited from 2021, and therefore there's, if the custom gave a revenue ruling to some woman or some company and they didn't do it correctly, that is a custom issue. They should go and tackle it at that level. But taking that and ballooning it to say that it's because she's board of the port and this and that and that. I mean, you should be able to distinguish that from other applications that have been received for revenue rulings from other businesses. Are you precluded from owning a business because you are on the board of you're on the council of state, or you're on the board of
then we should not talk about any other person when they we should, because you're dependent. Dom Level, when he was at the what do you call it, the auditor general, was surcharging in peanuts. We were celebrating it. So why are we not celebrating a million Ghana cedis?
Yeah, but I'm saying that.
I understand what you're thinking of. Oh, it's a peanut. But if you have to say this, somebody can still
no. I mean, reducing my analysis to just a peanuts is not doing me favor. You're not being fair to me, because what I'm saying is the special prosecutor on the surface of this document that he released did not prove to me that this woman actually peddled influence. Like 5% reduction in benchmark value. This is something they do all the time, and the customs have discretion to do so. And the customs cited a letter to you, which you quoted just a piece of that letter. You couldn't have, if the letter was the basis of which you are concluding that they did something wrong, publish the letter so we can all read it. You attempted to publish it and you just left it at that. You didn't give us the values in your report. So I'm saying on the surface of the report, it's shoddy. It's shoddy work. I can't applaud somebody just because he's trying to fight corruption. I think this woman should be taking this into court anyway, but maybe there's more there that we are not privy to, that we are not aware of. I've not seen all the interviews he did or the documents he reviewed, but on just the surface of the report he published, it's completely unprofessional from my standpoint.
Yeah. I am glad that in the tail end of your submission, you have made a statement that unless there is something more than
we don't know,
So why don't we give him that benefit of the doubt?
I can't. I mean, he's a servant of the public. We pay this person taxes to do these investigations and provide a report for us to read. That
Absolutely.
report should be able to tell the stories on its own,
Alfred,
without me asking for why don't I know this,
Alfred,
why don't I know that. I'm saying
Alfred,
that
in as much as I agree
Yeah.
with you, I am glad currently you are pursuing law. And I know very well that to every environment you find yourself in the first time, you are likely to make an error.
no, this
Unless
guy,
you
it's a
unless you are saying
lawyer,
that
man.
you
So it's
are not fallible.
the person we
Unless
are
you say
talking
you are not
about
fallible.
is a craftsman. It's not an ordinary special prosecutor. Just didn't get up today, and I mean he's been in the field.
Alfred, in as much as I agree with you,
Yeah,
I am saying that let's applaud him for the small beginning, okay,
yeah.
and expect more from him. That is how it should be. But if we throw the baby and the bathwater out, we are not encouraging him to have the balls or the moral right to stand up for any corrupt official.
I want him to
For the fact that he has
investigate.
the courage, my point that I want to make is that for the fact that he has been able to have the courage to take that step, let us applaud him, correct him where there are needs. That is all that I'm saying.
I think he's throwing smoke in the air because this matter is not going anywhere. This is like, you know how, in order to appease you, I give you the little crumbs and the deal is actually going on. There's so much more going on.
Has money been paid to the
outfit,
has 1 million has 1 million be paid to the state?
Yes, it has been paid to the state. But I'm saying that, right?
Can that money help pay salary to for at least 4 or 5 people?
I understand that, but I'm saying that
would this send a signal to other people who are likely to benefit in that regard?
Okay, I'm saying that even how much resources has he used on this investigation? How much?
Okay.
How many lawyers actually did the interview? Because this took some time to complete. How much has he, spent? How much money did he spend on this investigation itself?
Okay, so for me, I am not in so much looking at the flaws as far as these findings are concerned. I am happy of the signal, the fear it is going to impart in the people
let's say there's some policy
who are
reasons
doing
for
the
this.
wrong thing.
Let's say there's some policy reasons for this. There's some signal he's trying to send. We are saying that there are huge issues in our country. There is a minister of finance who's conflicted.
Alfred,
he doesn't see that.
Alfred, you and I know very well that this finance minister can only be dealt with by a new regime. You and I know very well that this finance minister can only be dealt with by a new regime. Because if the president who appointed him, okay, see nothing wrong with whatever he's doing, and the president who happens to be our astute lawyer, see nothing wrong with what he's doing, it takes somebody who can say to hell with everybody.
Yeah,
but that person.
But what you're not seeing is that, right? Even this thing that we're trying to say, we are applauding this special prosecutor in. He submitted a report that the average lawyer who's not even trying hard can pull apart easily. Okay, so that before you know it, if this woman actually litigated, if she decides to take this matter to court, she'll win. She can win based on, just based on what I've read so far. There's so many holes in there that if this woman takes this matter up, she can win.
Shouldn't that rather be a plus that an individual who is alleged to have done something, pursue justice and got it, and also to let the institution sit up that, hey, there's a new win that you can just get up.
I don't know about you, but let's not waste our resources doing this type of things. What is being done here is like smoke screen. Let me give you something so you can say the office is doing something. And even what I'm giving you is so riddled with errors that, by the way, if this person who's supposed to be in trouble can easily go to court and fight it and win it anyway. So at the end, what are we getting? We're not getting anything. The special prosecutor, from my standpoint, hasn't done anything here. He's actually wasted resources on this matter because there's much more he could have been doing. Anyway,
we have $1 million. We have $1 million back into the Ghanaian coffers.
How much has he spent on the investigation? That's my point.
Okay, and that is the underlying fact that me and you don't know.
Yeah,
so,
but
yes, we need more particulars of that. But at the end of the day, like you see, we can't just I don't know what to say, but I just have a disagreement with you in terms of this one. I must be frank with you.
That's fine.
Dr. Tu is on the show. I like the way he's looking fresh.
It's fine to disagree with me.
Maybe yeah. Dr. Tu this afternoon.
Dr. Tu may agree with me. Dr. Tu, welcome to the show.
From the Labianca money. I like how you are looking smart this afternoon.
I swear to God, he's looking sweet. Doc,
thank you very much.
Doc, for me, I don't know if you heard any part of the conversation at all, but and I also don't know if you actually had opportunity to look at the report that was released by the special prosecutor. In my read of the report, this woman apparently has a controlling ownership of a beneficial owner of this company that brings about 200 containers, 40-foot container, food containers a month to Ghana.
It's even scary.
It's contributing to GDP in a big way.
Scary. Okay, it's rather affecting GDP. Alfred.
Now, this woman apparently has been doing this since 2014. This woman or their company, since 2017, has been accused of peddling influence because all of a sudden she got promoted to, or she got appointed to the Council of State and made a member of the port and the board of Port and Harbor Authority. Okay. Now, he applied for an 80% reduction in the value of what she brings to the country before taxes. So you reduce it. If I bring something that is 1,000, she wants to declare 200, and then that will be taxed. That application was approved, but she was given between 5 to 10%. Okay, the totality of loss to the states for tax purposes is about 1 million cedis. And our special prosecutor went into investigating this and released the report. The report's riddled with errors. And for me, I don't see any prima facie case on that report. And I'm saying that, yes, special prosecutor, there's so much more you can use your resources on. You've gotten us 1 million Ghana cedis. How much did you spend in doing that investigation? There is accusations of the Minister of Finance being conflicted. You don't see that? There's so much more you can be investigating. You don't see any of those, but you produce a report that can easily be pulled apart by any lawyer who's not even trying at all. Do you agree that we should be imploring this man, or we should be questioning him? He should actually be putting in his resignation. From where I stand, what do you agree with me on that?
I mean, Alfred, I told you already. I don't know if you're able to hear me. Can you hear me, Alfred?
I can hear you. Yes.
I told you already, the special prosecutor will not go after political leaders. He's going to go after people who are not part of the political elites and stuff like that. Right? But my question is, why do we give why are we selective in giving people deals? Why?
No, but Alfred, you have to stop Doc over there. Doc, sorry. This lady is a Council of State member and a board, a chairperson of the Ghana Port and Harbor.
They didn't say she was the chairperson of the board. She was just a board member.
A board member, but she is an influencer. A Council of State member.
But okay, Kojo, let's agree with you on that. That maybe she has a lot of influence. Do you see any evidence of her influencing anything on that application or on that report that was released?
We don't have the underlining evidence. So
you are telling me that the special prosecutor did an investigation and released a report, but there's no underlining fact on the report?
We don't have it. But he has.
What is the point of releasing the report?
But it's not everything that could be given out like that. You know that. You're learning to become a lawyer. You know it's
all right. I'll let you go, sir.
Let Doctor go on.
But Alfred, on a more serious note, I don't know if the prosecutor is going after the woman or going after the institution that allowed that to happen. I don't understand that.
He went after the woman.
It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me.
The woman doesn't give herself
I don't know what Kojo was trying to say over there. Going after, it's like you're coming after me when somebody has allowed me to sin or to do wrong, and it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all
It does not.
that a government entity allows me to do corrupt things, and then you come after me. I mean,
Yeah.
if you come after me, I mean, everybody will be willing to do that if someone allows them to do A or B or C. Why don't you go after rather the people at the ports allowing this to happen? So I totally agree with you, but I'm saying that I know that this special prosecutor will not go after the big fish. It's not going to happen. I told you that, and this is evidence. I know Kokodo is saying that she's a member of the blah blah blah. We don't even know who this woman is. But to your point, I don't understand why the prosecutor is going after this woman. In any case,
right.
You're going after the institution and this woman for causing a crime. You cannot just tell me that if the police allow, if I paid bribe to the police, you only come after me just because I paid bribe to the police, and the police man is go scot free. It doesn't make any sense. That's what I'm saying. The prosecutor is afraid to enter into stuff like this. He wants to protect his job. Like I told you, he would not go after any big fish in this administration. If that's going to happen, it's going to happen after NPP government has left power. It's not going to happen. I totally agree with you. The woman, yes, he may have to go for the woman, but it necessarily should not be just a woman. It has to be the institution as well. That's my point.
Right, I agree.
I don't know what.
Okay, so yeah, fortunately, we are able to hear from you before we close the program. But let me give the opportunity to everyone to say their last word so we can bring the program to an end. I will start from Paul Disosu.
I'm surprised today he didn't heckle me. He allowed me to flow as usual. He allowed me to flow without any heckling. So thank you very much.
I think his mic is on mute. That's why you didn't hear from me. But Paul, go ahead.
I'm grateful to be here, and just to say that, I mean, when you were putting the flyer out, you stated that Dr. Ato, he is an NPP communicator. Should have added that to it. So you did not add it to it. So I mean, I'm not happy about that. Apart from that, I will say that, I mean, I've stated, I've made my submission. Ghana needs to be better than what it is today. Let us all work together to make Ghana a better place. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, we'll go to Kojo DC for your last take. Kojo.
All right, as usual, like I said, we thank you always having the time and to do this. And then just to go with you and Dr. Atu today, I don't know why if a council of state member is not somebody who is in the position, I don't know who else would be in the higher position. And then in terms of thinking that, I don't think the gentleman want to just the lady. He want to both the customer. How did they come there? Damwa came and said, this small boy want to bring me down. No, it can't.
I mean, he went published his name in the
institution.
report. So other than that, I mean, he hasn't filed any criminal charges against him. He hasn't. The man is still at post. He's not fired. I mean,
so it's not. This is the thing, though. Why do we always have to think like people should go to jail or something? Surcharging a company paying money back to the consolidated fund, is it not enough? Something that we should celebrate the little things before we get up to the big thing. Even with a journey of 1,000 miles, well, you begin with a step. You don't begin with 100 steps. So we should celebrate the little ones. And then when the people make mistakes, we criticize them as them. But when we are criticizing, oh, this is a peanut, this is nothing, this is not. No, we can't leave a country like. And for instance, this is a country where to go after such a person, you have to have some big boss. For God's sake. And
so the special prosecutor is allowed to spend 2 million to retrieve 1 million.
Do you have any evidence contrary to?
I'm sure with all the interviews and the documents they review, when they apply that to a normal billable hours of a lawyer alone, I'm sure they've spent more than $1 million, $1 million cities on this case.
No, I don't think he will go. Will spend that 2 million, and that's the allegation. You know, when my brother Leto was saying something, he said, "Oh, it's allegation," but you're here making
I'm not saying I know how much he spent, but I'm saying
so don't say he spent 2 million to bring in $1 million out
from the fact that I know and all the investigations that he undertook reviewing all documents from 2014 all the way to 2021. I mean, it's gonna take some considerable amount of time. And look at the billable hours of each person involved in the case. If you add all that together and you actually compare that to what was retrieved, it's completely a waste of resources and time and our attention. Like really, we have big issues to worry about.
If it wasn't anything of importance, I don't think you even will add us to discuss this because it's very important. That's why we are discussing it on your.
I want us to discuss it so that we can tell the special prosecutor that he should focus. What he's doing with this woman is completely unnecessary.
I think you had number here then because or just you and Dr. So we are 6 on there, and I think.
Oh, it's not a popular contest. Trust me, I'm not doing it for convenience. I'm not criticizing him so that I can be part of majority. I'm just expressing my view to it. We're all allowed to do so, right? But I'm saying that
it's a little thing, but we should celebrate that little part of it. Criticize him as much as we could because at the end of the day, I'm talking about Ghana. We're talking about Ghana.
I think we're hoodwinked. You know, it's like giving us the left side of the eye. Like, look at me, I'm doing something, but you're not doing anything. To be honest,
he just came into office a year ago. There was somebody that we all praised couldn't even do a job and resign based on somebody dying on the 12th of October.
That person was the reason we don't have our gold resources in some kind of a special purpose vehicle that we are not even clear on what it is because of that person. So you could not say that there was one person who came before
and he resigned and left. So you want people to
I wish Ajabai has the balls to even do half of what Amidou did. You know, Ajabai is here going after some lady and producing a report that can easily be taken apart. So if this lady goes after him and take this matter to court like she promised she was going to do and wins, then what? What has Ajabai done?
Let her have whatever she has and let's see what let the lady with her company. This is a company that was started. Remember, it's an LLC. She's different from the company. We should not even put, even though she's 100% owner of it. He went for the company. So if the company thinks they've been disgraced or in quote unquote lie on them, they should go to court. That's why the courts are there. Let's see what happens if they can have the boss to go. Because if you are not, if we surcharge you and you go and pay for it, and now you're making noise of, oh no, this is not what I applied for. I didn't apply for that. Even if I apply for it, I qualify for it.
I think it's an abuse of prosecutorial power on the part of the special prosecutor.
I think it's a waste of resources. That office. I mean,
it is a waste of resources. Yeah.
It is. After I read that the finance minister went to Amidou's house at 4 a.m. That's why I realized, this is a waste of resources. This is a waste of time. This is complete. Like if Amidou could not do this job, I don't know who else can do this job. He seems to have been a fine gentleman, but he's been cornered to do this job a job that he cannot do. I'm telling you. Right now we know ministers or MPs who took double salaries up to now. So
Doug, you know one thing that I disagree with you on this one. The special prosecutor is one of the institutions where you cannot be fired. You have your term limit that nobody can fire you. So if you have the boss, you don't have to resign because a finance minister came to you.
Nobody can fire you, but there can be interference. I mean,
that's why you have. But that is why
did the finance minister go to his house at 4 a.m.? I mean, that raises
it is wrong.
The optics are bad.
The optics are bad. I agree with you. But at the end of the day, if you have the boss, you don't care who asks God. You just have to go on to the thing.
How do you do your job when there's constant interference? How do you do your job? How do you do your job?
No, that will be another topic. I'll let my brother.
All right.
But as I said, I'm inviting you guys all on October 1st as the MPP Washington DC chapter organizing the last summer end of summer picnic. The embassy is going to be there, and then as the time goes on, there's going to be other announcements. I'll make it over here as well. So thank you very much, Muzu, again, and thank you all for the members. I appreciate you guys.
All right, so Efam, are you there with us? Oh, let me actually go to Lifetime Legacy.
I'm here.
Okay, if I give us your last word, then let's bring it to
Okay. I think all that we've said they are all very important. When issues come up, okay, it is important that we all contribute towards making sure that justice is served. Okay, and Atu raised a very important question. So in this case, what are we doing? We go after Labianca, and then there's a path. There is a cartel of people over there. They keep doing it. So we should. It is important we also focus on building institutions so that they would outlive the individuals. But we also have to know that sometimes some of these things can be crafted in such a way as if somebody is innocent. But when you go deep down, they have a way of talking behind the scene, and then something happens. But let's give the benefit of the doubt. Let this case travel its full length, and then we're going to take it out from there. I am privy to a lot of information that has been dismissed from the office of the special prosecutor. People just, but having said that, I mean, again, Amuzu, we thank you for this opportunity for us to come here and contribute toward the development of the country. Thank you very much, and God bless you always. God bless all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go to Lifetime Legacy.
I will encourage the special prosecutor to
resign,
continue pursuing the corrupt officers at the port, most especially those who are the cartel, the cabal, who are also in the Plaza House, encouraging the custom officers to confiscate people's goods, and then they go around and buy them at a ridiculous amount and put them in their warehouses and sell. You should go after all those people, and that is what Ghana needs. The corruption at the port must stop.
Thank you so much. All right, my partner in crime today, Dr. Ato. Yeah, I mean, I think the office is not worth it. We should just scrap it already,
Not.
But let me hear what you have to say in your last.
I mean, like I was saying, we have this evidence of MPs collecting double salaries.
Yeah,
there's evidence, and these MPs are the MPs who are collecting ex gratia every 4 years. My mother was a teacher; she worked for so many years. Probably would not even get half of
that.
How much did these people make? Special prosecutor knows about this and is not doing anything about this.
Dr. Atu, I disagree with you. You see, your mother is a public servant or civil servant.
Yes.
She'll be in office till she retired. When politicians retire, nobody will give him another job or offer him a job.
No, but
you look at the risk involved in doing politics.
All right, that is his last word. You're not supposed to question him in his last words.
Yes. Yeah. So you know what? Like I said, when I read that the minister went to Amidu's house at 4 a.m. That's when I realized, this is a waste of our time.
It's a lost cause.
A waste of our time. Although I disagree with how Amidu handled everything, it's a waste of our time. I mean, I don't know why. In a country of 30 million people, we have Attorney General's office. They cannot do anything. We have to find a special prosecutor to execute all these things. And like I said, if I give a policeman bribe, why should I be liable? And the policeman just goes scot-free. We have institutions in Ghana, and like we all in this country, we see what happens every day. So if I overspeed and I don't get a ticket, then the police will come after me. I mean, it's unconscionable, and I agree with you 100%. I don't know, Kojo DC can dance about this and say, this office is a waste of our resources.
It is.
We should just as a country build better institutions so that people in power cannot get their ways out. How can somebody, just because he's probably a member of the Council of State member, get a deal just because he's paying X amount of money? But there's the rules don't apply to anybody in the country except a few people. Why? What country do we live in? So I agree with you, my brother. It's a waste of taxpayers' money, and I'm hoping that the next government comes and I don't know if it's in the constitution that we cannot get rid of this entity.
We should get rid of it. For me, it's not living
in favor of this office. Ajabin is a very intelligent man, but his hands are tied. He cannot do anything until this government is out of office.
Yeah.
And I'm promising that next week, God willing, I'll be on time and try to buttress my friend Saul, not Paul. Saul. His name is not. I told you that his name. So Paul don't behave. Paul's are very courteous, very nice, and Paul's have. No, let me choose my words carefully. Paul's are really courteous and very nice. They don't attack
Right.
people. But Saul's are like that. If you read in the Bible, you know what Saul did in the Bible. So next time you're addressing him,
I think it's the same. It's the same person, right? But
yeah, don't use
please,
Saul. Don't use Paul the Soso. Use Saul the Soso.
no, he's a Paul also. He's a Paul also.
Saul the Soso. Saul the Soso. All right, thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you guys for joining today, and thanks to the viewers and listeners for joining us. Today's been great. Yeah, we think the special prosecutor has a place in our politics, but yeah, personally, I think he should go after the big fish. He should go after the cases that actually would make the most impact. Of course, every office has to do its own risk assessment and make a decision as to what cases they go after first, what they go after second, and there's no telling when a case is wrapped up for us to hear, the reports on, for us to get to know the conclusions. But just this particular one, I'm shocked that even the value is that small, and I'm sure that the amount of time wasted on this and all this could have been used investigating some really, impactful other issues. But that is the Ghana agenda. We always agree to disagree. You may not like what I say, but it's my opinion, and I hope that you would tolerate that I'm able to share it in a way and a manner respectful of you and of our viewers. And we'll be back next week if it is Sunday Day. It's Ghana agenda. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the week. We'll be right back.